All right. So thanks for coming and listening to all these presentations. My story tonight is about a man and his dream to climb Mount Rainier. And I wanted to climb Rainier in high, fine style. And, you know, Rainier is a hard mountain. It's on a lot of people's life list to do. It's 10,000 feet of elevation, and it's pretty hard. So I embraced Rainier with 110% energy. I was training to climb Mount Rainier, and by damn, I was going to do it. And I started running. I was trail running. I was climbing, mountaineering. And I was doing things that I never thought possible, 50-pound weight vests on a treadmill. And that training ultimately took me to this mountain, which is Mount Nebo in southern Utah County. It's the tallest mountain along the Wasatch. And little did I know, but this mountain would become my nemesis. It would kick my ass. I would lose a fight with it. And the way I lost the fight is the mountain spawned a giant boulder. And that boulder came from the mountain, and you don't want to pick a fight with a giant boulder. Because when you do, this is what happens. That's what happens when your nemesis is a mountain and decides to just kick your ass and teach you a lesson. So, you know, it all started. Our group was training for Rainier, so we decided to do a training trip, an overnight trip down to Nebo, kind of a dry run. And so we this was our route. We made it to about where the orange line stops. It was the June 12th and 13th of last year. We got there, and we roped up that day to practice glacier travel and rope travel, and we were headed up the snowfield, and about noon, 12:30, a big, huge thunderstorm came through. Huge lightning bolts cracking right over our heads. Not cool, no cover, so we got the hell out of there. And as we made our way off the snowfield, we got into some really, really rough terrain, the roughest I've ever been in. It had snowed, it was wet, it was slippery, it was very, very steep. And we got up to this point where there was this gully. You can see I took a picture of Mount Nebo too, and I think that pissed her off or something, because later that day, five of us are standing in this gully, sitting in this gully. I was right in the middle. And Michelle was looking up, and from the mist, this boulder was spawned, and some demon animal threw it at us. And it clipped the back of my leg. I had just enough notice to start to turn and look. And so we started to immediately do triage. I had a big gash on my leg, so we took some duct tape and a handkerchief and duct taped it to the back of my knee. And we started to lower me down this gully. Eventually, though, we ran out of snow, and that really sucked bad because we had to push, pull, drag me, and these are pictures from the day before, and on the right, that slope, eventually they just put me on the ground and winched me up the hill with a Z-pulley like a crevasse rescue on my ass. And speaking of my ass, this is my ass. When you get lowered down 1,000 feet of snow gully and then winched on a hill, you get a mark, and that's still there, and I didn't even know about that for 4 days because of the other injury. But moving on, we get to the ridge, we build a stretcher with some trekking poles and rope, and we're able to start moving me, more productively. But still, it was really slow. It took us 4 hours to get me to the car. It should have taken about 45 minutes of hiking. From there, it was another hour and a half to the Nephi emergency room, and I can tell you that taking that duct tape off in the ER hurt twice as bad as anything to that point. They gave us these nice, cozy, warm blankets, which were truly glorious at the time. And again, we found out torn ACL, broken leg. Anyway, so some life lessons. What ifs are worthless. There are 100 things that could have happened that day differently, and you can play that game. What if we didn't, break for lunch? What if we weren't in the gully? And what happened did, it just did. You just got to move on. My favorite quote is, "If you can make friends with pain, you will never be alone." And you should all try to find pain in your life. Life is supposed to be hard. It will be better for you. That's when they took the duct tape off, by the way. The other thing is when I'm in the goal, I was really scared. I was losing a lot of blood. We were far away. I knew what the seriousness was. And I didn't think about a lot of things, but I did think about my family, friends, and my kids, and I even thought about Doba and my employees. And, they made me a cool get well card. There's a quote in the movie, anyways, I can't remember the movie title. It says, pain will heal, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever. And it's totally true. Life's scars are what makes you, and you will, grow from that. The last thing is teams. My friend Dallin was with us. He's a certified mountain guide. Michelle's with us. She's an MD. You know, we had eight other people for manpower. And so who's going to push and pull you when you're, you know, basically lying there? That team summited Rainier, by the way, 10 days later. So that's my presentation. I'm not going to lose the war. I'm climbing Mount Rainier this June. I'm going back up Nebo, that same damn gully, into the belly of the beast in May, and I'm not going to win the war, so let's connect. Thanks, everybody.